Now we begin with the latest that's coming in from the Israel-Hamas war. Israel's National Security Adviser has warned that a war against the Iran-backed Lebanese militia Hezbollah may be on the cards after the Israeli military eliminates Hamas from Gaza. Now he has asserted that the situation on the shared border with Lebanon must change to ensure that Israeli citizens are not displaced. And the Israeli NSA's warning note comes a day after Prime Minister Netanyahu's threat to turn Beirut into Gaza, and this as the region inches closer to a multi-front war. He has outlined concerns over Hezbollah's unit. The Radwan unit is rumored to be highly trained in cross-border infiltration, and this has made the IDF nervous in the wake of Hamas's October 7th attack. Israel had earlier stated that it does not want to fight a two-front war, while warning Hezbollah of overwhelming retaliation if the nation is attacked. And Israel is surrounded by hostile forces. Remember, Iran leads the regional axis of resistance against Israel, which along with Hezbollah includes armed proxies in Syria, Iraq and Yemen. And some of these groups have attacked Israeli and US interests in the region in recent weeks. Now, recently tensions rose in the Red Sea when 3 commercial ships were attacked by missiles alleged to have been launched by Yemen's Houthi rebels. And this after the Houthis vowed to target all Israel-bound ships in the Red Sea. And for more on this, we have with us our correspondent Jody Cohen. Jody, what can you tell us about the toll on Israeli soldier casualties of the Israel-Hamas war, and is this impacting the morale?
Hi Aditi. So I'm actually outside one of the main rehabilitation hospitals in Israel where soldiers who are injured would be brought for rehabilitation. The IDF has published a website detailing the figures of soldiers injured. According to a Haaretz report, though, that's an Israeli newspaper, the hospital data here is higher than the IDF published figures. And the IDF says that's because the hospital data includes soldiers admitted to hospital for matters not related to the war, that the IDF figures are only soldiers who are deemed unfit to return to service, and that it doesn't include data on other servicemen such as policemen. But every person killed and injured is obviously a tragedy for that family, and at the weekend we saw the son and the nephew killed in battle of Gadi Eisenkot, the former IDF chief of staff and member of the war cabinet here. But I would say morale is high. I've been speaking over the past weeks with injured soldiers who do want to get back to service. Hamas, remember, is seen as an existential threat, and there's a risk of the 7th of October, that style massacre happening again, as Hamas has said it intends to carry out. There's also been thousands of rockets fired from Gaza into Israel. As you talked about, there have been attacks from the Houthis saying that they'll now target any ship towards Israel. Cyprus and Israel said at the weekend that they foiled an Iranian terror plot against Israeli and Jewish targets in Cyprus, and there have been rockets from Hezbollah in Lebanon since the 8th of October, and these have dramatically increased in the past days. And National Security Adviser Tzachi Hanegbi in Israel has said that Israel is likely to have to tackle Hezbollah once it has defeated Hamas.
And Jody, Israel is under significant external pressure to end the fighting. Do you expect it to be over soon?
So Israel thanks the US for its veto of the UN Security Council resolution calling for a ceasefire, and also for sending more tank ammunition. And they're saying that the ceasefire with Hamas, which is like ISIS, is unsustainable, that there would be another 7th of October attack, there would be another war, more bloodshed, and that the solution is to get rid of Hamas. We do know that the US wants the main fighting to be over by January, and also more efforts to protect civilians. And commentators are questioning if that's a contradiction. If the fighting has to be done quicker, doesn't that put civilians more in jeopardy? Israel has, though, said that they expect the operation in Khan Yunis to be over within 3 to 4 weeks. that they're seeing Hamas start to surrender in places, that Israel doesn't want civilians caught in the crossfire, but that Hamas embeds itself under hospitals, mosques and schools, but that they've designated 150 areas for people to go to where Hamas isn't known to have infrastructure. And they're saying that the aid organisations now need to develop the facilities there to receive the Gazans. Now, Mark Regev, who's a senior advisor to Netanyahu, said that he's heard indirectly that the aid organisations don't want to do that. They don't want to be seen by Hamas to be facilitating Israel. But remember, Hamas still has 140 Israeli hostages, including 20 who are now known to have been killed. Qatar says that truce efforts the talks are continuing, but it's likely that we're going to see the fighting continue until the main operations are over and Hamas is dismantled, and also that the hostages are returned.
Thank you, Jody, for joining us and giving us all those updates.